Hey guys, so one of the videos I was requested to do was balancing equations, and this was by Sean Leonard. Shout out to him. Alright, so how to balance an equation. So the first thing I'm going to look at is I'm just going to count up how many carbons, hydrogens. So I'm going to look at the different atoms that I see. So I see a C, I see a H, and I see a O. I'm going to write them down. Okay, next I'm going to find out how many of them I have on each side. On this side of the equation, on the left side, before we get to this arrow, I have 3 carbons. On the H, I have 8. Now, if there was like a 2 here, what that would mean is it would be 2 times 8, so I would have 16, just for future reference, just so you guys know that. And then O, I have 2. On the other side, I have carbon, I have 1 right there. Hydrogen, I seem to have 1, 2, okay, that's about it. And then oxygen, I seem to have 1, and then 2, 3, okay. So looking at this, the one thing I'm going to not focus on when I'm doing this problem is the oxygen, because I can later on fix up the number of oxygens I have because this one's just an O by itself. So I'm going to focus on the oxygen last is what you're going to see. The first thing I'm going to do is try to get this carbon up to 3. So I'm going to have to multiply this by 3, which means you can't just multiply one singular atom, you have to multiply the whole molecule. So I'll do that. What that's going to do is leave me with 3 carbons. So we did what we needed to do. We now have 3 carbons, so we're good on that. The problem is we just increase the number of oxygens, but remember, like I said, we'll fix that up later on, so I'm not too concerned about it, but we'll still write down how many we have now. We have 6, 7 oxygens. Okay, now we have 7 oxygens. The next problem is hydrogens. We need to get to 8 on the left side, so we're going to go ahead and multiply this by 4. So if I put the 4 in front of right there, we now have 4 times the 2, which is 8. We have 8 hydrogens now. Okay? So we have 8 hydrogens matches there. We have 3 carbons, that matches there. So now the issue is, well, now I have how many oxygens? I just had 7, but let's count it up again. So we got 3 times 2, which is 6. 6 plus 4, which is now 10. Okay? So I have 10 oxygens on this side, and I only have 2 on this side. What do I have to do to get that to 10? I have to multiply it by 5, and that's going to give me 10. And so that means I'm going to put the 5 in front of right there. And if you count up all the atoms one more time, let's go ahead and cross this all out and just count it up now. Okay, C-H-O and C-H-O. And if you look at C, we have 3. If you look at H, we have 8. And if you look at oxygen, we have 5 times 2, which is 10. If you look at carbon over here, we got 3 times 1, which is 6. 3 times 1, which is 3, sorry. Hydrogen, we have 4 times 2, which is 8. And we have oxygen, 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 3 times 2, which is 6. And that gets us 10. So do they all match up? They all match up, and there you go. You've now balanced the chemical equation.